Okay, this is a position that was shown to me at this year's 2015 Greater Peoria Open. The player playing black is currently up a pawn and rated right around 1500. His opponent, white, is rated in the 1900s, so black was a lower rated opponent, and he was very concerned about keeping his pawn here. And he played a bad move. He played queen a6, which is not a good move. Why? Well, the queen becomes very passive, and if he wanted to defend the pawn, a better way would be b6, moving it off of the knight square, also blocking the bishop's path to a7. Much better move to defend the pawn. But in fact, I recommended to him to play actively, so chess masters always like to make moves which help the position. We never like to just guard something. If we can, we'll make a move that improves our position, improves the piece, and somehow helps us. And one of the moves I came up with at the board was knight g6. Now, this may not be the best move. It's perfectly fine. Black still has an advantage after this move. But what I pointed out to him was this. I said, look, here's the point. White can't even take your pawn. If you play simply an active move and look at the position and judge and evaluate what's going on, white cannot even take the pawn on b7 that you were so concerned about guarding that you even spent time to guard it with your queen. So the question is, well, why? Why cannot white take this pawn? Why can white not take this pawn? An interesting tactic comes up, a very cool chess tactic here actually. If white chooses to go in and take this pawn for free, white in fact just lost a piece. How? Well, by playing actively, of course. Let's see if you can spot it. Black to play and win a piece. So one thing I always tell students is that every unguarded piece is a weakness. The knight on b7 is unguarded. Loose pieces are often taken for free with tactics. One of the most common tactics is a fork. So here it's important to notice that the white king is exposed to checks along the back row. So black can play queen b1 check, king h2. Nothing out of the ordinary so far, but now black has a killer move, the first fork, pawn f4. Alright, so what's the point? Well, the queen and bishop are forked. White must take the pawn. Of course, if they move the queen, we win a piece immediately. So they must take the pawn. Now, we should not take back, but remember, unguarded pieces. The queen's path with check, check with tempo to get to b1, and now queen e4. Look at that beautiful centralized queen. Remember, in the game, the queen ended up on a6, where it was totally out of play, very passive. Now on e4, it is in fact winning a piece by force. It's forking the knight, and now we have two attackers on this hanging bishop on f4. So whichever one white chooses to save, they will lose the other piece. So again, play actively. Instead of choosing to guard a pawn, ask yourself, can white really even take that pawn if I allow them to? And if the answer is no, okay, the next question should be, how can I improve my position? How can I make it better? For example, perhaps pulling a knight off of the back rank. I hope you guys liked this example. This has been 5 Minute Theory. Please remember to leave a comment, rate the video, and subscribe.